Thank you, Matt. Going into the last weekend of the season and having the conference championship wrapped up, probably wasn't good that we played the two bottom teams in the conference. We didn't play well first half against A-State, although I thought A-State played a super game. And we did play better in the second half and win that game. And then on Saturday, we did not play as well as we needed to play. It was a perfect storm for Little Rock. If you look at everything that happened in the game, everything fell into their favor. We played very poor. We had a lot of individual performances that were off. We didn't shoot the ball well. We forced too many three-point shots, certainly in the overtime, but we needed to go inside out a little bit better. The first game we played, those guys, Bankston doesn't score. I think he has 14 and 6. And Pippins had 9 the first time. He has 19. Corcoran had 0. He had 10 the other night. And then Oliver Black had a career high. The first game, I think he had 8 and 4. In this game, he had 17 and change. So they played well. They hit the big shots when they needed to hit them. And it was good for our guys to take a punch in the mouth and refocus going into the tournament. We're excited to be the #1 seed. We look forward to going to New Orleans and not having to miss class until the end of the week and playing our opponent, which will be determined by Wednesday's practice. We'll have an idea who we're playing. So usual routine today. Our guys are working in the weight room. They're working in the training room as well for rehab and recovery. And then they'll be up to our office to watch film after that. Study hall tonight, and tomorrow we'll get back on our normal workday routine. Tomorrow will be all about us. It'll be at the Cajun Dome. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we will probably practice here at the Moncla Indoor Practice Facility. It'll be the first time we've been on our new court, so it'll be an exciting boost for the guys. Like our chances in the tournament, we obviously have to play better. We have best depth in the league, and it's going to need to happen with this format that we have. One of the few conferences that the women play with us, and you get to win a game and then take a day off and then play against a higher seed. So that's certainly something that I'm not a fan of, or the coaches, and would like to get that changed in the future if we can. Should be an exciting tournament. They're going on all across the country. Yesterday and today, a couple of my friends, one punched his ticket last night, and the other one lost yesterday afternoon after a valiant comeback. So it's that time of year where coaches reach out to each other and pull for each other, and had a lot of text already today wishing us well for this week, and hopefully we can get it done, something we did not do Saturday night.
Open up for questions. Does it help now that there's clarity that you got to win this thing in order to get?
We had to win it anyway. There was never a chance. I mean, people were talking about possible bubble. It wasn't going to happen. I've said that before, and it would have been a great story because we'd won a lot in a row and get knocked off at the end. Maybe you win 29 games and don't make it, but it doesn't matter. We were going to have to win the tournament regardless, in my opinion, because the tournament's held on Sunday.
Is it a better lesson learned that you guys came up just short and maybe eking out a close victory and not winning well?
I think the lesson would have been learned either way. I was disappointed the seniors weren't able to celebrate, cut down the nets a little bit more, receive the trophy that was representative of 2.5 months of hard work. But it'll help refocus us. It is what it is. I said it the other night, it's a dose of reality. And it's never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems. It is what it is. And that's what it was the other night. So we have to play better. I think our guys will have a better sense of urgency. I wasn't in the press conference when Bryce spoke, but I heard some of the comments after. And he certainly has his head in the right place, and he'll have the rest of the team in the right place as well.
Coach, a lot of conferences obviously don't play their women and the men on the same court at the same time. So you guys have what kind of feels like a luxury of knowing your opponent for at least a full day before having to go to face them. But that's a two-way street. Do you like having your opponent on Wednesday before you play Friday?
No, I'd rather they play Thursday, and we scout the game live. And we have one coach that scouted one team, one coach that scouted the other team, and they're both watching that game, and the loser, that coach gets a day off the next day or a night off that night. The other coach will take over. So we'd rather them play straight. Most conferences you have to play 4 days in a row. I mean, to win a game and get a bye, it's not a big advantage. And when one's the same as 4, it's not a big advantage.
Jonathan's ankle and maybe his status moving forward?
He's at 75% this morning, according to the trainer. He tried to go a little bit. He practiced Friday. He practiced Saturday, and said, "Coach, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna play. You know, I'm gonna play. And I don't know if I can go longer than 5 minutes." And he went to first media timeout, and BJ asked to shut him down. So that was another key proponent the other night. It's the first thing our coaches said after the game. We didn't drive the ball. We didn't take advantage of our opportunities, and one of the best guys we got at that is Jonathan Stowe. So we certainly missed him Saturday.
Bob, going into the tournament, what is your team's best asset? Is it your depth, or are there some other factors?
Certainly depth is one of them. We feel like we've got a strong group, and if you look at the game Saturday night, we've got Cedric, Jonathan, Jacob, Malik. Those guys are 0 for 14, so we need better depth than that. But they'll bounce back, and we do have the best depth in the league. And I think Justin Miller's ankle is doing much better, and he has had treatment this morning. I think he's going to be ready to go and give us a big tournament too. So the depth is a major thing. We've rebounded the ball well in the past. Our defense has been good. It wasn't very good last week, and we need to refocus and get back to guarding people.
I'm sorry, Justin Miller's ankle or his back?
Ankle. He rolled his knee at
Oh, that's right.
South Alabama. You guys forgot about that. So.
Coach, the transfers, how big of a role are they going to play, like Marquetti and Dan and Stroman heading into the tournament?
Hopefully they'll play a big role. Malik struggled the other day, and to his credit, in a game where Marcus missed 2 free throws in a row in the second half, as one of maybe Jakina did a few games ago, but it's been a while since we've missed 2 free throws in a row. We usually split, but we didn't shoot free throws well the other night, and Malik made 2 pressure free throws to put the game in the overtime. We get a bad toss on the overtime and lose a tip that we need to win, and let them score at the end of that possession. So that was a big play in the game. But Jakina, Marcus, and Malik can be huge in this tournament, and we certainly need all 3 of them to be playing at a high level.
From your seat, what's the biggest difference between this team from game 1 to now the start of the Sun Belt tournament?
Well, we won our first game. When we lost our last game, we were pretty good in the middle. But we are certainly so much better defensively. We're better as a unit. We have an identity. We didn't really have an identity back then. We started at Cuba, and until we got into the season, we didn't really know what we had and how we were going to mesh it all together. So I think we're a lot better team at the end of the year.
What do you think your identity is on that note in terms of how you guys have progressed? What do you think your identity is?
Well, we're 7th or 8th in the country in assists. We're, I think, 13th in the country in scoring, although we had trouble scoring the ball the other night. We're nationally ranked, the best free throw shooting team in school history, from what I understand. So we've got a lot of strengths. We've been pretty good defensively and really good offensively.
Spend a lot of time talking about Gant's athleticism and scoring, but his block game, and certainly on point the other night. What kind of spark does that bring to a defense?
It's huge. It's momentum-changing plays, something that we chart, and we try to get 8 momentum-changing plays a game. Key had 5 blocks at the half and then wound up with 7, hoping that he would get a double-double with block shots. Certainly that was something I mentioned to him during one of the timeouts. I was a little bit concerned early in the game. We were guarding him and keeping them from scoring, but we weren't scoring. And he got a couple of those blocks in succession in the first half, and we just weren't able to take it down and score and get a lead in the first half. And then certainly we came back and got the lead in the second half, went up 10, and had a couple of bad possessions, bad passes, and poor shots, and weren't able to extend the lead right there. We had an opportunity to win the game. We let it go with about 8 minutes to go.
Coach, Any birthday plans?
I'm going to take my wife to lunch as soon as I leave you guys. Or she's taking me to lunch.
Doing something.
Bryce's passing ability, for a big guy, what extra value does that give you, a team? You know, I know he played a little guard in high school, but what extra value does that bring to this program that he's able to pass as well and as smoothly as he does?
Just a really good passer. Has always been comfortable with the basketball in his hands, and he started inbounding the ball versus pressure as a freshman, and we'll have to have a new inbounds person. We hadn't had much pressure this year, to be honest, but in a crucial situation, you want him out there because he thinks like a guard, and he understands the game. He has great understanding. I'll give you an example. On Saturday at shooting practice, we had the seniors out there, so we had a couple of guys out of position with Lorenz and Jacob being out there and Jonathan. And a couple of guys were, somebody had to play the point guard. And instead of letting Bryce do it like I initially wanted to, that we put Frank out there. And he didn't know a couple of plays from that spot. And guys just used to, but Bryce and Jonathan know every play from every position. And that's why they're so valuable, and their experience is something that we need going into the tournament.